Howdy folks, and welcome to another Taste of Gameplay video for the Dutch Tier 4 Tech Tree Cruiser. I was about to say light cruiser, but there's not a huge difference at this tier. Anyway, the Dutch Tier 4 Tech Tree Cruiser, the Ruyter. As always, these videos are designed to give you a sample of the gameplay of this ship, not to be an exhaustive analysis. I recommend the Wargaming Wiki or other content creators. So, Tier 4 cruisers are odd to talk about because they're just not particularly good, and they're often not all that interesting and also not all that differentiated from each other. So the De Ruyter's not bad. It's very simple. It gives up torpedoes or anything fancy to just have pretty solid guns. 7 guns, reloads at 9 seconds. And really, it's the purest expression of the rock, paper, scissors of the game. It's obviously very good at taking out destroyers. We're going to see some footage of that in a couple minutes. And it can get deleted off the map if you position it wrong, and people can actually aim. One of the issues with all ships at this level, except for the Yubari, which is kind of a unique ship, they have very bad accuracy. So you can see here I'm sailing completely broadside to at least 4 ships, but because most of them are bots and the ones that are not are too far away to accurately get fire on me, I don't think I'm going to take any damage at all. Of course, I'm also not going to do exactly a ton of damage, but I'm going to start creeping up there. We're up to 4K. When playing games at this tier, I've found that a winning strategy is just to protect our base. So for one thing, the bots will all come to you. I believe in this game there are 4 players on each side, including myself, of course. But the bots will all come to you if you just park near your own base. And the players don't really understand the danger they're in from that strategy because they tend to think that sinking all the ships on the enemy side is the only important goal, when actually a lot of games at this tier are won by either capping the zone or by just pointing out the other team, getting them to 0 points. The gameplay footage here at this kind of tier is not exactly riveting. So basically just trying to set as many fires and do as much damage to this Friant as I can. I'm going to switch over to the AP. It's not really going to work. One issue with AP at these tiers is you often just completely overpen. So that's what's going to happen here. We'll eventually sink him and move on to another. The question is always whether to go for the players or to go for the bots. And I tend to break it up based on how aggressive the players are being. If they're being really aggressive, then I try to deal with them. But if they're backing off, then I sink as many bots as I can as quickly as I can. So it usually winds up being about pure hitting DPM. De Ruyter's okay, but it's obviously can't compare it to the Yubari. The Yubari is just an amazing ship at this tier. It's really kind of overpowered. The guns of the Yubari on paper don't look that amazing, but the hitting DPM is incredible because they have a special accuracy buff that makes them basically rail cannons. I completely whiffed on that destroyer, just bad dispersion. But one of the keys at this tier is just keep firing. Just keep shooting. Anytime you're not shooting, it's probably a mistake. If you just find a target and keep pumping as much DPM as you can into them. They're basically damage sponges. Gonna start getting citadels here on this Toronto. This is a hybrid tier 3, tier 4 match, so some of these are tier 3 cruisers. Can't say I know all that much about the Toronto, but it's dead now. It's difficult to do enough damage to some of the destroyers at this tier. They have quite a lot of hit points, and you just don't have the DPM for that. But doesn't mean I'm not going to try. You can see, if you notice, that all of the red players are down near a base. And the problem with that strategy is you notice that they have no representation up at their base. Foreshadowing there, a little bit of foreshadowing for you. But yeah, the Ruyter's an okay ship. There's certainly nothing wrong with it. Yeah, if you're thinking about working through this line, you're not going to hate playing the Ruyter. It's just a very basic tier 4 cruiser. The armor is bad, as is the armor on all tier 4 cruisers. The guns are fine. I wish they were a little more accurate, but at least there's 7 of them. And they do adequate damage. There's nothing wrong with the Ruyter. It even has a hydro. And a spotter plane, which is kind of nuts because it already has 13.8 kilometers of range. I can't imagine you're going to need a lot more than that at tier 4. I guess the only reason would be if you get up-tiered into a tier 5 game. Which actually, I forget at the moment whether that even can happen. I don't remember. But yeah. It's interesting that the ships at these tiers are so vanilla. Some people really appreciate that. It definitely is a return to a more pure form of the gameplay here.
Torpedoes to port.
There's a DD up ahead in that smoke, and he's my main concern because he is going to try to torp me. For some reason, I still had the AP loaded. It's a mistake. And he is going to get his torps off. At ranges like this, cruisers, at any tier really, but this tier's no exception. Oh, that poor Wickus. You just eviscerate destroyers. I mean, you can 2 or 3 shot them easily at this kind of range. You really just got to look out for their torpedoes. But the ship's okay-ishly maneuverable. So at this point, the game's just suddenly over. Why? Because they weren't paying any attention to their cap, and we capped it out. But anyway, that's the De Ruyter. Just about the most generic tier 4 cruiser you could ask for, but certainly not bad. Just, it is what it is. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one.